The year is 79 CE. The grand city of Rome sprawls before you, its marble monuments gleaming under the Mediterranean sun. The scent of olive oil and roasted meats mingles with the stench of open sewers. You have just arrived from your modern world, somehow transported 2 millennia into the past. You might think yourself lucky, after all, you are witnessing the Roman Empire at its height, under Emperor Titus. But make no mistake, you would not survive a month here. Consider the fate of Octavius Emerson, a fictional representation of the average Roman citizen. Octavius rises before dawn in his cramped insula, a dangerous multi-story apartment building. These structures, often 6 to 7 stories high, were hastily constructed death traps. The Roman architect Vitruvius, writing in his treatise De Architectura around 15 BCE, warned about poor construction standards, yet they persisted. Collapses were common. In 27 CE, an apartment building collapse killed hundreds in Rome, according to records from the time of Emperor Tiberius. If the building did not kill Octavius, fire might. Without modern firefighting equipment, blazes spread rapidly through Rome's densely packed wooden structures. The Great Fire of 64 CE during Emperor Nero's reign destroyed 3 of Rome's 14 districts and severely damaged 7 others. Historical accounts from Tacitus describe people trapped in narrow, winding streets as flames engulfed entire neighborhoods. "The gods have spared us another night," Octavius mutters as he splashes his face with water from a terracotta basin. The water itself presents another deadly hazard. Despite Rome's engineering marvel, the aqueduct system that delivered over 300 million gallons of water daily by the 1st century CE, waterborne diseases were rampant. Lead pipes, plumbum in Latin, which gives us our modern word, plumbing, transported water throughout the city, slowly poisoning the population. Breakfast for Octavius is simple: bread dipped in watered wine. The bread could contain stone fragments from the milling process, gradually wearing down his teeth. By age 40, most Romans suffered severe dental problems. Archaeological evidence from Herculaneum, preserved after Mount Vesuvius's eruption in 79 CE, shows widespread dental abscesses and tooth loss among the population. As Octavius leaves his apartment, he navigates streets flowing with human waste. Despite the ingenious Cloaca Maximusor system, built as early as the 6th century BCE, most Romans could not access proper toilets. Chamber pots were simply emptied from windows onto the streets below, prompting Emperor Caligula to pass laws against the practice in 38 CE. Crossing the street presents its own dangers. Chariots and carts barrel through narrow passages, with no traffic regulations beyond basic time-of-day restrictions instituted by Julius Caesar in 45 BCE. Historical records document numerous pedestrian deaths. Octavius passes the public baths, where wealthy and common citizens alike gather. While Romans valued cleanliness, these communal bathing facilities spread skin diseases, fungal infections, and parasites. The warm, humid environment of the caldarium, hot room, created perfect conditions for bacteria to thrive. Excavations at bath sites across the former Roman Empire consistently reveal parasitic eggs in the drainage systems. For work, Octavius labors at a tannery, handling animal hides in vats of urine and toxic chemicals. Occupational hazards were numerous and deadly in ancient Rome. Miners faced cave-ins and metal poisoning. Bakers inhaled flour dust that scarred their lungs. Dyers worked with caustic chemicals that burned skin and damaged lungs. No workplace safety regulations existed. Seneca the Younger described the plight of workers in his moral letters to Lucilius around 65 CE, but offered little beyond philosophical comfort. The midday meal might be taken at a thermopolium, a fast food counter where hot food was served from large clay pots embedded in the counter. Archaeological evidence from Pompeii reveals that these establishments often served contaminated food. Garum, the popular fermented fish sauce present in most Roman dishes, could harbor dangerous bacteria when improperly prepared. Disease was a constant companion in Roman life. Without understanding of germ theory, physicians like Galen, 129 to 210 CE, prescribed treatments based on the theory of 4 humors: blood, phlegm, black bile, and yellow bile. While some herbal remedies had merit, many treatments, like bloodletting or applying animal excrement to wounds, caused more harm than good. The Antonine Plague of 165 to 180 CE killed an estimated 5 million people across the empire, with mortality rates reaching 25 to 33% in affected areas. Violence was another everyday reality. Street crime flourished despite Emperor Augustus establishing the vigils, watchmen, around 6 CE. Juvenal's satires, written around 100 to 127 CE, describe muggings and assaults as common occurrences after dark. During the day, the threat came from above, roof tiles or pottery falling from upper stories regularly killed pedestrians. For entertainment, Octavius might attend the Colosseum, completed in 80 CE. While watching gladiatorial combat, he risks being crushed in crowd surges or struck by debris. Historical accounts describe incidents where stands collapsed, killing hundreds. In 27 CE, an amphitheater collapse at Fidene killed or injured over 50,000 people, according to the Roman historian Tacitus. If Octavius falls ill or suffers injury, his chances of recovery are slim. While Roman medicine had advanced beyond many contemporary civilizations, military doctors could perform successful amputations and cataract surgeries, infection remained a deadly threat. Without antibiotics, a simple cut could lead to fatal sepsis. Archaeological evidence from Roman cemeteries shows that approximately 50% of Romans died before age 10, and only 10% reached age 60. Even the wealthy faced these dangers, though their resources provided some buffer. Consider Sabina Juniper, wife of a Roman senator. Despite her elevated social status, she risks death with each pregnancy. Skeletal remains from Roman burial sites indicate high maternal mortality rates, with evidence of desperate attempts at caesarean sections, named after Julius Caesar, though the procedure long predates him. Historical documents and medical texts from physician Cyranus of Ephesus, 1st to 2nd century CE, describe primitive obstetric practices that often led to fatal outcomes. Sabina's wealth allows her access to better food, yet lead poisoning affects all social classes. The Romans used lead vessels to boil grape juice into a sweet syrup called defrutum, which concentrated the lead content. This syrup flavored food and wine throughout the empire. Chemical analysis of preserved Roman food items and human remains consistently shows dangerous lead levels. Political instability posed another threat. Of the first 12 Roman emperors, from Augustus to Domitian, 27 BCE, 96 CE, 6 died by assassination. During the crisis of the 3rd century, 235 to 284 CE, 26 men claimed the title of emperor in just 50 years, most meeting violent ends. Being associated with the wrong political faction could result in property confiscation, exile, or execution. For common citizens like Octavius, military conscription might mean death far from home. During the Dacian Wars, 101 to 106 CE, Emperor Trajan deployed over 150,000 troops. While Roman military medicine was advanced for its time, the legions had dedicated medics and field hospitals. Battlefield mortality and disease claimed countless lives. Even in peaceful times, Roman life expectancy averaged just 25 to 30 years, according to demographic studies based on burial inscriptions and skeletal analysis. Modern forensic examinations of remains from Herculaneum reveal widespread malnutrition, even among wealthy citizens. Today, we romanticize ancient Rome through films and television. We admire their architectural achievements, their sprawling road network spanning over 250,000 miles, their legal system that forms the basis for many modern legal codes. We marvel at the Pantheon's unreinforced concrete dome, still standing after nearly 1,900 years. We appreciate innovations like hydraulic concrete, central heating systems, and sophisticated urban planning. Yet daily life in ancient Rome was brutal, short, and painful by modern standards. The technological and medical advances we take for granted, antibiotics, anesthesia, refrigeration, clean drinking water, waste treatment, were inconceivable to the Romans. Consider this: when Emperor Claudius undertook the construction of a new harbor at Ostia in 42 CE, he could command thousands of workers but could not prevent many from dying during the project. When a 21st century civil engineer designs a port, not a single death is considered acceptable. The contrast extends to governance as well. While Rome pioneered concepts of citizenship and legal rights, these protections were limited and unevenly applied. Women could not vote or hold office. Slavery was ubiquitous. Historians estimate that 30 to 40% of Italy's population during the empire were slaves. Even freeborn citizens could be executed without trial during periods of political turmoil. The stability we expect from modern governments would seem miraculous to ancient Romans. Between the assassination of Julius Caesar in 44 BCE and the rise of Augustus as emperor, Rome endured 13 years of civil war. Throughout the empire's history, power transitions frequently involved bloodshed. Yet Romans adapted to these conditions because they knew nothing else. They developed coping mechanisms, from elaborate religious rituals to fatalistic philosophies like Stoicism, popularized by Emperor Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations, 170 to 180 CE. They celebrated life through art, literature, and communal activities, creating a culture that still resonates today. The contrast between Roman and modern life illuminates how profoundly our expectations have changed. When Emperor Trajan completed his magnificent forum complex in 112 CE, visitors marveled at the marble splendor while accepting the daily reality of disease and violence. Today, we demand both aesthetic beauty and physical safety. Our modern world, with its healthcare systems, sanitation infrastructure, workplace regulations, and public safety measures, would seem as fantastical to ancient Romans as their gladiatorial combat seemed barbaric to us. The average Roman would be astounded that we expect to live into our 70s or 80s, that we consider preventable deaths unacceptable, that we have eliminated diseases that decimated their population. This perspective offers valuable insights. First, it reminds us how recent and fragile our progress truly is. The medical, technological, and social advances that separate us from Rome's brutal realities emerged primarily in the past 2 centuries, a blink in human history. Second, it highlights how civilization advances not just through dramatic breakthroughs but through countless incremental improvements in safety, health, and human dignity. The cumulative effect of these changes has transformed human existence more profoundly than any single invention. Finally, it encourages humility about our own era. Future generations may look back at our acceptance of current dangers and inequities with the same bewilderment with which we regard ancient Rome's hazards. The progress we take for granted was neither inevitable nor complete. As the sun sets over Rome, Octavius returns to his precarious apartment, grateful to have survived another day in what was, for all its achievements, one of history's most dangerous urban environments. For him, this is simply life. For us, it is a reminder of how far humanity has come, and how much further we might go.